I'm Dr. Michael Lange, helping keep America fit and healthy.
The Lange Eye Institute in the Villages and the Fortifeye Nutrition Center on McMillan Booth Road in Clearwater. Online at fortifeye.com. And listen to Ask the Doctor Saturday morning at 9 on AM 930 The Answer.
Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual for 31 years, Dr. Michael P. Lange, P for Paul. Remember, this is a live call-in show dedicated to you, the listener, the viewer, the consumer. So no matter how simple or complicated your question is, we will try to answer it to the best of our ability. And I say we because my co-host is Dr. Susan Summerton, who is with me this morning. Dr. Susan Summerton a lot of times calls in from the Villages, from her Ask the Doctor studio there in her house, but now she's live in the studio here in Salem Media and Tampa Bay with me. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning. Happy to be here. It's a beautiful day over here in Tampa. We thought it was going to be a little chilly, but it's actually quite nice out.
It's a gorgeous day. And so we do want to welcome 3 new stations in Texas. So that is Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, and Waco, Texas. I'm going to get a cowboy hat and wear it one day and some boots. You know, I grew up in Louisiana, so it's right next door. And we wore a lot of boots and cowboy hats in Louisiana growing up, especially during urban cowboy days. You remember that? We used to go to a club called the Hard Hand, and that was in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's 1980. Wow. Anyway, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Waco, it's 95.7 FM, 93.1 FM, and AM 1460 mega channel. So all of you guys and gals in Texas, you're listening to Ask the Doctor. And once again, I'm your host, Dr. Michael Lange. I'm a board-certified optometric physician. I'm a certified nutritional specialist. I have degrees in psychology and physiological optics as well. Like I said, I started hosting Ask the Doctor in April of 1993. We grew to a syndicated talk show. We're coast to coast and live video streaming all over the world. So it's actually good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what part of the world you're actually viewing us and listening to us. So this is a live call-in show. Once again, no matter how simple or complicated your questions are, if they have to do with your vision or eye care, we'll try to answer that. Once again, we're both board-certified optometric physicians. We're both certified nutritional specialists. And Dr. Summerton has taken it to that next level. You're a diplomat in the American Board of Clinical Nutrition, and she's also a fellow in the Ocular Nutrition and Wellness Society. Isn't that correct?
I am. Nutrition has always been a passion of mine. I used to teach nutrition at the university, and part of it is just because I enjoy reading about it and learning about it. And then I love sharing it with patients and listeners. So we're happy to answer any of those calls that come our way. And if we don't know, we'll certainly find out for you.
And we do practice what we preach. Dr. Summerton and I both are in the gym constantly. We've done a lot of research in nutrition and anti-aging, not only in the eye care arena, but in the anti-aging wellness arena, in the weight loss arena, the muscle building arena. So I own the Fortifeye Vitamin Company. I'm the lead investigator. Dr. Summerton's also involved in a lot of the stuff we do with Fortifeye vitamins. And so I want to give you the website if you want to learn more about the supplement company that I created over 25 years ago. This is an evidence-based supplement company with full transparency. We tell you exactly what is in our supplements. And I always preach, supplements are only supplements to your diet. They do not replace your diet. If you can't afford supplements, you eat the right foods first, okay? So the Fortifeye website is fortifeye.com. It's kind of a play on words since we're eye doctors. It's Fortifeye, Fortifeye. So Fortifeye, the EY in the end, fortifeye.com. Also, I urge you to sign up to be on the newsletter. If you're on the newsletter, just go to the bottom of the Fortifeye website, and there's a section that says subscribe to the newsletter. All you do is put your email in there. We don't need your date of birth. We don't need your name. We don't need your address, just your email. And we'll send you the latest research that we are involved in, research that we're not involved in that we think you need to know about. We'll send you some flash sales. Sometimes we run a 30, 40% off sale for 12 hours or 24 hours. And if you're subscribing, you can benefit from that. And we'll send you our newsletter, which comes out, and we'll send you a few ads every now and then too. So subscribe at fortifeye.com. At the bottom of the page, just hit subscribe and you'll be connected. Once again, I want to welcome the 3 radio stations in Texas. You guys can call in any question at all. Let me give you the live call-in number now, 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. So it's a live call-in show. And then Fortifeye Vitamins, we do have people answering the phones this morning until I think 3 o'clock at our distribution center located in Ocala, Florida. And I'll give you the phone number, the toll-free number for Fortifeye Vitamins in just a second. And I'll personally be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center in Clearwater today. And so this is a live show. Remember, this is sometime in December. I don't know what the date is. What's the date? The 14th? Yep, 12/14/2024. So I'll be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center from 1 to 3 today. And the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins, if you want to call and even order during the show, just call back if nobody answers because the phones get inundated, is 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. And both Dr. Summerton and I hail from the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida. A lot of you come from far away to see us for eye care with a nutritional twist. So we have a state-of-the-art eye care center at the Lange Eye Institute. We're actually in the process of adding close to 6,000 square feet, a new wing that will actually be in charge of the new biophotomodulation therapy. One of the devices is called the Valeda Light Therapy. And we're real excited about this, aren't we, Dr. Summerton? Finally, we have something that's non-invasive that has been shown in clinical studies, and they've been doing it in Europe for 3 years, to be beneficial for people with dry macular degeneration.
Right. It's something we can finally give our dry macular degeneration people hope, because we have been using nutrition quite actively and proactively, but now we have an additional treatment that's going to enhance the nutrition that we're already doing. And there's no side effects. And yes, it's new to us. It just got FDA approved. But like you said, they've been doing it in Europe. It has been tested and it's relatively simple. We bring the patients in. Either I think it's going to be 6 or 9 times, and the treatment is only 4 minutes per eye. So it's not long. The patients have to sit there, and they can even close their eyes partially through the treatment. If they can blink, they can rest their eyes. So it's extremely exciting that we can use light in a positive way. Light can be damaging, but light can also be healing.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And they're using a frequency of 3 different lights, 3 different wavelengths, 590, 660, and 850. Those are the wavelengths with this new light. And we're always pretty famous for saying that macular degeneration is also a nutritionally responsive disease. So those of you that have macular degeneration, or you know a loved one that has it, or there's a family history, it is a nutritionally responsive disease. And so things that we're going to talk about today are New Year's resolutions later in the program. And really, these New Year's resolutions are beneficial for everybody with macular degeneration. That's proper diet, okay? And we're not talking about the typical American SAD diet, which is standard American diet. Proper diet, something like the Lange survival diet that we developed, a modified ketogenic diet, a Mediterranean diet, a paleo diet. But a good diet is crucial. Eating the right foods, avoiding the wrong foods, taking the right supplements. Fortifeye makes a next-gen macular defense formula. We've changed that 15 times in the last 20 years based on ongoing research. We have one with zinc and one without zinc. And you can learn which one you need to take on the website at fortifeye.com. It gives you 4 questions you have to ask yourself, and that will tell you whether or not you take the one with zinc or the zinc-free. So consider that if you have macular degeneration or family history. It's called Fortifeye Next Gen Macular Defense. It gives you the nutrients or the nutrition that your body actually thirsts for. Remember, we can't underestimate exercise. It's so crucial. Cardiovascular exercise, weight management, wearing a good pair of sunglasses, blue filtering lenses during the day, having your regular eye exams with your optometric physician, your optometrist, or your ophthalmologist. All of these are beneficial to helping decrease the chance of you losing vision. Also, there's something that we use now quite a bit at the Lange Eye Institute. We're one of the only ones in the area that are using it, utilizing this technology that's covered by your insurance. And it's called the Foresee at-home monitoring device. So if you have a certain type of dry macular degeneration, you may be a candidate for this. And they actually send you the device. You plug it in. They call you and tell you how to use it. It's basically like having a retina specialist at your house every day monitoring your retina. And it looks for early detection, early changes of the dry going to the wet. And Dr. Summerton, really the key is early detection, isn't it?
It is. And we don't get to see the patient every day. Often it's just once every 6 months. And you can have obviously changes in between that time that can go undetected. So this gives the patient at home that peace of mind to know that if something is changing with their vision, because we know they'll come in sometimes and they won't realize one eye has drastically changed because the other eye has compensated, or even just little subtle changes they haven't realized. So this will pick that up. It actually sends them an alert. It sends us an alert, and then know to come into the office and we can see what's going on right away.
And the studies indicate if we use this new technology, which is usually covered by your insurance, that means it's free, it increases the risk of you losing vision or maintain functional vision versus a home Amsler grid by 84%. So that's a pretty powerful number. So once again, another reason to go into your local eye doctor or come to the Lange Eye Institute and ask them about the Foresee Home Macular Degeneration Monitoring Program. That's hard to say. All right, we're getting ready. We're going to take May, I think, the first call. May in Seminole, Florida first. May, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Well, good morning. I have a question on astaxanthin in food. Does canned salmon have any? I find canned salmon very convenient.
Oh, canned salmon is great. As a matter of fact, for breakfast yesterday, I had wild Alaskan canned salmon and 2 eggs sauteed in coconut oil. Okay. And so, yes, as long as it's wild caught salmon, the astaxanthin content is going to be very high. And also the omega-3 content is going to be very high. That's a power food. You add some organic kale and some organic blueberries and bam, that's great for nutritional intervention for your retina, your brain, and your entire body. And astaxanthin, for people that are listening, astaxanthin is the most potent carotenoid on the market. It's a xanthophil in the carotene family, and it's what gives wild Alaskan salmon its orange color. And virtually the only way you can get astaxanthin in your diet is eating wild Alaskan salmon. There's a little bit in shrimp, there's a little bit in trout, but wild Alaskan salmon is where it's at. And if you're not eating wild Alaskan salmon, you're deficient in astaxanthin. Remember, astaxanthin is a potent antioxidant and a potent anti-inflammatory, amazing for your skin, amazing for the eye, amazing for the entire body.
Okay, good news. Thank you.
All right, May. So remember, wild caught Alaskan salmon. Don't get the farm raised. If it says Atlantic salmon, that's farm raised. If it says Scottish or Nova Scotia, that's farm raised. It has to say wild on the can. If it doesn't, don't get it, because I'm not even going to go into it. I've been to Norway and seen the places that they raise The farming for the salmon, I'm not really impressed with it. So remember, wild salmon, and you're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Phone lines are open. You're listening to Ask the Doctors, Dr. Susan Summerton and Dr. Michael Lange. If you got a question, give us a call at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. And last week we had to run a best of show because I was at the Optometric Management Society in Orlando at Disney, and it was a great meeting. Fortifeye Vitamins was a sponsor. We had just a tremendous time talking to doctors from all over the country about how you can enhance your patient's health through proper nutrition and proper supplementation. I was also wanting to shout out to Dr. April Jasper. She had me on the April Jasper Show. So it's a show that goes nationally and worldwide on her podcast. So I was interviewed. I was on that show for 20 minutes. That was a lot of fun. So I apologize. We weren't live. We try to be live as often as possible, but we are live today. So one more time, give us a call at 813-282-8283. And if you'd like to get any of the Fortifeye supplements, remember, when you go to the Fortifeye website, go to the bundle section first, because the bundle section, we actually incorporate different supplements that work synergistically together, and we give it a dramatic discount with free shipping. So it's the best bang for the buck is the bundle section. But check that out, fortifeye.com. All right, we're going back to the phones. Steve in Clearwater has been waiting patiently. Good morning, Steve.
When you say you're alive.
Yep.
Well, when you run the tape of this, it'll still say you're live, which you won't be.
That's why I said the date.
Oh, okay.
December 14th.
Okay. By the way, are you hiring any more physicians?
We are. As a matter of fact, we've been interviewing more optometric physicians and ophthalmologists. We have been in the interview process, and we have a nice guy coming down from Georgia next Saturday, and he's going to meet us at the Lange Eye Institute, and we're going to do a little interview with him. There's another gal from Oklahoma that's big in laser surgery, and she's been doing PRK and all sorts of laser procedures and wants to relocate to Florida. So we're always looking for new doctors that have great credentials, like Dr. Summerton.
Well, you know who's available, don't you?
Who's that?
You know, this is Assad that got kicked out of Syria. He's an eye doctor.
Really?
Yeah. So, and if you have any he could serve a double purpose. I'm sure if somebody doesn't pay their bill, he knows how to handle it. So
maybe I could get him for a cheap price too.
Okay, I'll let you go. Oh, by the way, if people need to order for you for Christmas to get people gifts, when should they be ordered by?
Well, depending on where they are. I mean, usually in the South, you get it in 1 to 2 days. Once you cross the Mississippi River, it might take an extra day. But
okay.
Even to California, 3-day shipping is usually the longest it takes.
Okay. Have a great day.
All right. Take care.
That is a great idea for Christmas gifts. I mean, you're giving them the gift of health, and it's something they are going to use. I know you don't want to buy people gifts that they're just going to sit there. And so I think that's a tremendous idea for Christmas.
I think that is a great idea. Steve always has something good to add to the show. All right. So it is starting today, the 12 days of Fortifeye. And so that's a good reason to be on our email list. And so if you get on an email list, you'll know about this. If you go to our Facebook site, go to Facebook Fortifeye Vitamins, or go to Instagram Fortifeye Vitamins. And it might be on my Instagram. My personal Instagram is Dr. Michael Lange _. Dr. Michael Lange _. But the 12 days of Fortifeye is kind of like 12 days of Christmas. And we run a special every day for 12 days on something. And so there's some really, really great deals. Now, for those of you out there, we're going to talk about the breakfast that Susan had just a minute. Our vegan super protein is 30% off during these 12 days of Christmas, all right? Or 12 days of Fortifeye. So it's Fortifeye vegan super protein, 30% off. Now, most people are going, vegan protein. The vegans out there are jumping for joy, but most people say, no, I want a whey protein. Nothing wrong with whey proteins, and we're going to talk about why whey is good in a minute. But most vegan proteins, as a matter of fact, 58 jugs that we bought, the country of origin was China. Not to knock China, but I am. So Fortifeye vegan protein is all from North America. The pea protein is sprouted, non-GMO pea protein from Canada, and the barley protein is ancient grain sprouted barley coming from America. And we sprout it because that reduces the anti-nutrients that are in these ingredients. Anti-nutrients are things like lectins and phytic acid and oxalates and things of this nature. So we want to reduce that. And this is a complete protein, but we added something called velocitol. And velocitol is amylopectin and chromium, and that doubles the power of the amino acids. So if you look at our Fortifeye super vegan protein, the amino acids, the essential amino acids, many of them are higher than whey protein. And the branched chain amino acids are very close to whey protein. So it's something to think about. We haven't vanilla, we haven't chocolate, we haven't salted caramel mocha. All three are delicious. They're creamy. And here's the kicker, and Dr. Susan was involved in these studies with us. We worked on it for a year. Most vegan proteins are very chalky and very grainy, and they're not a complete protein. Well, you had the vanilla super vegan protein at my house for breakfast this morning. What'd you think?
I did, and it was delicious. And I didn't do anything fancy. I simply just mixed the vanilla with plain old water, and it was delicious. And I know I've got my protein, especially it's really hard some days to get the amount of protein, about a gram for each pound of body weight, and you want about 30 grams per meal. So that time, how am I going to get protein? I'm not a big breakfast eater. So these whey protein or the vegan proteins are an excellent way to ensure you're getting that protein in, and it's delicious. And you mix it with water, you're getting hydrated as well. So you get both benefits.
And you bring up a valid point. You know, we quiz patients. We talk to them a lot about nutrition, obviously, in our exam. And when we ask somebody what they have for breakfast, what does the majority of our patients actually have for breakfast?
We hear a lot of carbohydrate, processed carbohydrate too, those bagels or donuts, and it's just not the right way to start your day. And those don't contain any of that protein. So we want an easy way, because most people are on the go and they want something fast, or they don't have much of an appetite in the morning. So this is just a great way. We know you like your coffee. Some people throw that protein and a little bit of collagen. I usually throw that in there too. Just a great way. Once you start your day off right, it just sets the tone for all the rest of what you're going to put in your body.
Right. So protein is very important. Folks, don't be afraid of an egg omelet, okay? Free range, organically raised eggs are very good. You can add some baby leaf kale or broccoli, onions, mushrooms, sauteed in coconut oil. And you've heard me talk a lot about coconut oil. There's some interesting new research talking about coconut oil. We know that coconut oil has been beneficial for people with neurodegenerative diseases, cognitive decline, things like dementia. I have my 97-year-old mom on coconut oil. I put it in a smoothie I make every day. But now there's some new evidence that coconut oil may be helping macular degeneration.
There is. We actually just read a study about it reducing the activity of caspase 3, that's kind of it's a type of protease enzyme. That's kind of a big word, but basically that plays a role in inflammation and what we call apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. So what we want to do, and what it has been shown to do, is basically preserve the integrity of the retina cells. And anything we can do to do that, if it's something as simple as just a little teaspoon of coconut oil, then that's something really simple. You can add it to your shakes. I cook with it a lot. It's a perfect high temperature cooking oil. Now, you do have to make sure that it's unrefined, but it is pretty easy to find in all the grocery stores. Organic, unrefined, and is hard at a room temperature. If your house is colder, don't worry. It's supposed to be hard. When it warms up, it melts. So don't worry if your house gets warm, it starts changing form. That's okay too. But just a little teaspoon in there. And also another little tip, if you like to eat rice, there's another study, you add just a teaspoon per half a cup of rice when you're cooking it, then you refrigerate it for a minimum 12 hours. when you reheat it and eat it, it's actually lost a lot of the starch. And so it makes resistant starch, which is like a fiber, and that lowers the glycemic of index of your rice. So it makes for a healthier rice too. And it's just another little tip to throw in there to get that into your diet.
So reducing the caloric content of the rice is probably not a bad idea. Now, to make the rice even better, it's not a bad idea, believe it or not, to use white rice. And a lot of you people out there that think you're nutritional gurus, you're saying, oh, no, you got to have brown organic rice. That's the macrobiotic way. Well, we too were thinking that. But remember, the brown rice is much higher in arsenic than the white rice. And when they remove that husk, a lot of the arsenic comes away. So stick with white rice, basmati white rice, or basmati white rice, or sushi grade white rice. Soak it in spring water overnight, then pour that water off in the morning. Then you can cook it and do the coconut oil trick, that nutritional hack that Dr. Summerton just talked about. And now you have a healthy rice. But I'm a big advocate of minimal amounts of carbohydrates in your diet. Remember, push protein and vegetables. Remember, fruits are carbohydrates. Fruits are great for breakfast and supper. Breakfast and lunch, but supper should be basically, a lean grass-fed steak, a wild piece of wild Alaskan salmon, some good chicken or turkey, and then some vegetables. Remember, carbohydrates are the worst time to eat at supper because then you have these carbs in your stomach. When you're sleeping, you're burning the carbs instead of fat. If you have no carbs in your stomach when you go to bed at night, then just to breathe and swallow and your heartbeat, you're actually burning fat. You're not burning carbs. So you're losing weight when you're sleeping. And then when you wake up in the morning, this goes along New Year's resolutions now. One of the biggest things for New Year's resolutions is weight management. All of you that can pinch more than an inch, you're overweight, right? So that's all of us. So we got to lose weight. And the best way to lose weight is if you had the time, 1 hour in the morning, you go out and walk, all right? Or your treadmill, elliptical train, stationary bicycle. Anything for 1 hour. You don't have to be sprinting. You don't have to be standing up in the stirrups and going up a hill on the bike. As a matter of fact, you don't want to do that because that's pulling glycogen out of your body. And once your glycogen's gone, you'll start burning muscle. So to burn fat, you just want to do a leisurely walk or something of that nature for 1 hour in the morning before breakfast, as long as you didn't have any carbohydrates for supper. And Susan, you become a fat-burning anti-aging machine, don't you?
You do, and it's the whole lifestyle. We know we can't out-supplement a bad diet. We can't out-exercise a bad diet. We need the core foundations of the protein and the vegetables. We need good sleep. We need the movement in our life. If walking is your thing, that is great. Pickleball, we hear a lot. Tennis is great. Whatever it is that you like to do that involves an activity, you just get out there and do it. Preferably get some sunshine when you're doing it as well. It's incorporating all the little bits that we all know is good for us. And you just start off small, do what you can, eliminate more bad, add more good, and just take your steps in getting there. Sometimes if you say you're going to do too much at once, then it becomes overwhelming. And they set those New Year's resolutions, but just say, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to aim for sleeping 8 hours every night? Are you going to add more water to your diet? You're going to add more vegetables to your diet, and then eliminate those processed foods. We really, really need to get those out of our diet.
And check out the Lange Survival Diet. You can Google it, Lange Survival Diet. I worked on this for quite a while, and I took out all the foods that have anti-nutrients in it, things like lectins, phytic acid, protease inhibitors, oxalates, FODMAPs, gluten. So basically, it boiled down, you can have 2 vegetables. I'm just teasing. So there's more than 2 vegetables. But we tell you tricks of the trade on this thing. Like if you're going to eat bread, make sure it's sprouted bread or it's fermented bread, sourdough bread, because when you sprout or ferment something, it reduces all these anti-nutrients. So basically, it gives you a list of the foods to eat and a list of foods not to eat. So check it out, Lange Survival Diet. If you follow that diet, I call it the survival diet because it helps you survive into your old age, okay? Hopefully as disease-free as possible. And when you combine exercise, diet, sleep, hydration, literally you can, I think, reverse a lot of the aging. So I'm going to give you the phone numbers. If you got a question, give us a call. We're waiting for the first call from Texas. All right, 813-282-5600. 8283. I'm going to give it to 2 more times. Get a pen and a paper. Your question can be very simple. Maybe you've been debating LASIK surgery and you want to know if contact lenses are a better option for you. Maybe you've been told you need cataracts removed and you're a little bit afraid and you want to know about the procedure and what procedure is best. Or maybe you want to know what foods to eat to help with macular degeneration. Anyway, give us a call. I'm going to give you the phone number twice more, 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. And also, I just want to address an email I got early this morning. Usually get up at 5 in the morning and work out first, and then we come to the show. So Andy, a good emailer and texter and listener. Hello, Andy. I'm shouting out to you. And a friend asked me about a particular protein. I'm not going to mention any names, but a reputable brand. And it sounded too good to be true. Remember what your mama said? If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And nobody's giving you anything for free. So this protein, they were doing it for $24.99, and you bought 2, you get 50% off. So that's like $12. Well, they're losing money. All right. And so you got to think, why are they doing this? And so I looked at the ingredient profile, and it said that it was a very low carbohydrate protein, and it didn't say whey protein on it. So I looked at the ingredients, and number one, the first protein was casein protein. Casein is very inexpensive. It's very cheap. It disrupts the microbiome. It is part of what's in milk that causes everybody to have problems. Remember, milk is 80% casein, 20% whey. Well, the casein is affiliated with leaky gut, diabetes, cancer, and autism. And that's why there's a book out there that's very popular called The Devil in the Milk. And I recommend drinking goat's milk or A2 cow's milk that you can get at the store, so you don't get that genetic mutation of the A1 beta casein. You get an A2 beta casein. So if it has casein in it, I say stay away from it if it's a powder. It also has milk protein. So milk protein, remember, 80% casein. So you got more casein and only 20% whey. Then it did have whey concentrate and whey isolate, but you don't know how much. It could be 99% casein and 1% whey, because whey protein is a huge deficiency worldwide right now. There is no whey protein available. And if you're going to buy it, you're going to pay 3 to 4 times more than you would, and the price is going to go way up. So companies are trying to figure out ways to sell protein and still make a profit. And that's what's going on. But then also on the sweetener side, it had erythritol in it. And if you look back, there's some negative side effects from erythritol. We even used erythritol in our Fortifeye Fit 7 years ago. And the instant the study came out showing erythritol may not be as good as we thought, remember, this is a sugar alcohol, which is a natural sugar alcohol. We removed it, and we only use organic stevia or monk fruit now. So that's another reason they're probably trying to get rid of their product, to get rid of the erythritol. So be very careful. When it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Nobody's giving you anything for free. So read ingredients, and that's something that's very important. When you look at our whey protein, we have only whey protein and sunflower lecithin in our grass-fed whey protein. And then our super protein is New Zealand grass-fed, non-denatured. And there's 3 things I want you to look at when you buy a protein, wherever you go buy it. Make sure it says, if it's a whey protein, make sure it says grass-fed, make sure it says non-denatured or undenatured, and then where the cows come from. If they come from New Zealand or Australia or France, America, the UK, Scotland, Ireland, Australia, those are good. If they don't tell you where the cows come from, chances are it's coming from a country that you really don't want to be buying that protein from. All right, phone lines are open. We had somebody on hold. I think it was Jack. Call back. You got tired of waiting. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. And remember, you can check out these proteins, our vegan super protein or our Fortifeye Super Protein, at Fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, Fortifeye.com. That's a great way to start the morning. A scoop of that, you're going to get 20 to 21 grams of protein. That's a good way to start the day. So we're going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions. But Susan, I want to talk about a few things quickly that would kind of go in with New Year's resolutions, some nutritional hacks that we talk about in this program. And one you brought to my attention about a year ago about certain foods that have an enzyme called polyphenol oxidase in it, and how these specific foods can block the absorption of other foods.
Right. Those are the foods that, or fruits or vegetables that turn brown, like apples and pears. And we have to just be careful that we're not mixing those, bananas too, with what, like in our shakes, we like to put berries, but a lot of people like to especially throw a banana in there. But we've actually realized that blocks the absorption of those benefits from the berries. So you can still eat them, but you just don't want to blend them together. We want to maximize the absorption because we know how expensive food is these days. We know how hard it is to get into your diet. So it's just a little tip to maximize that absorption, that you separate those foods. Don't put those foods that can turn brown in their skin with the berries together.
Yeah, but we're getting ready to take a break right here in just a second. And we got a whole bunch of more good nutritional hacks. So get your pen and paper and you write this down, but we're going to a few more of those. They're going to help keep you above ground a little bit longer and keep you healthy. But we're going to a break. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes.
There's nothing more frustrating and irritating than chronic dry eye. It never stops. The itching, the scratching feeling, the fatigue and weariness. If you're suffering from chronic dry eye, go to Fortifeye.com and join thousands who've discovered Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy, a combination of Fortifeye Super Omega, Fortifeye Focus, and Fortifeye Blackcurrant Oil GLA. Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy works to address oxidation and inflammation in the eye and the entire body. This combination, once only available to patients in the doctor's office, has now become available to you. And already, countless numbers of listeners have found relief with Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy. If you or someone you care about struggles with dry, itchy, exhausted eyes, order Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy today at Fortifeye.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746 and at Fortifeye.com.
While others are hitting happy hour, you're hitting the gym. While they're hoisting mugs, you're lifting kettlebells. You owe it to yourself to get the most out of your fitness regimen before and after your workout with Fortifeye Fit. Fortifeye Fit's power-packed formula is designed to enhance muscle synthesis, strength, and endurance. All evidence-based nutrients in this proprietary formula are well documented and backed in good clinical studies. Taken before and after your workout, Fortifeye Fit is also hailed for what it doesn't contain. No dyes, artificial flavors, or carrageenan. With Fortifeye Fit, you get all you need to get the most out of your workout without needless additives and sketchy sweeteners. Order Fortifeye Fit today at Fortifeye.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. 866-503-9746. And at Fortifeye.com.
Ask the Doctor. You're listening to Dr. Michael Lange and Dr. Susan Summerton. I've been hosting Ask the Doctor since April of 1993. If you got a question, give us a call. 813-282-8283. 813-282-8283. Also, I want to mention digestion is crucial. All of you guys and gals, just finished Thanksgiving. You're coming into the new year and Christmas. Digestion is crucial, and a lot of you are not digesting all the carbohydrates, the fats, and the proteins. So another little trick, a nutritional hack, is to add a good enzyme 5 minutes before you eat that huge meal. Problem is, a lot of enzymes do not have nutritional value you buy over the counter, kind of like the omega-3s you buy over the counter. So Fortifeye, we have one called Fortifeye Enzymes, not just to promote Fortifeye, but at least you can go to Fortifeye.com. You can see what's in our enzyme supplement, and then you can go someplace local and try to get something similar, or just order it online. You get it pretty quickly. But most of us are not eating 10 to 12 servings of organically grown fruits and vegetables a day either. If you were, and a lot of these were raw, then you probably wouldn't need these enzymes. Also, you can throw some pineapple into your protein shake before during when you consume it. The pineapple has a proteolytic enzyme called bromelain that helps break down the protein. or you take a Fortifeye enzyme. If you're on a low carb diet, you don't want to add the pineapple, right? So you take a Fortifeye enzyme before you consume one of our proteins. But if you're not consuming 10 to 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, we have an insurance policy for you, and it's called Fortifeye Complete Next Generation Nutrition. So it's Next Gen Fortifeye Complete. It is your multivitamin and eye vitamin in a vegan capsule. It has the latest of the latest. We've changed that 15 times, just like the macular defense formula. And so for those of you that are interested in just a good nutritional supplement with the latest ingredients, right? No beta carotene and no vitamin A. Vitamin A blocks the absorption of vitamin D. Beta carotene blocks the absorption of lutein, zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin, and astaxanthin. So we've taken all this in consideration into the development of it. It's called Fortifeye Complete, or Next Gen Fortifeye Complete, and you can get it at fortifeye.com. So once again, talking about a few more nutritional hacks. One other thing is carrots and sweet potatoes do not go well with greens, salmon, orange bell peppers, or pistachios. And that's because carrots and sweet potatoes are very high in beta carotene. And we preach this to our macular degeneration patients. Do not take a lot of beta carotene if you have macular degeneration. So therefore, don't eat a lot of carrots and a lot of sweet potatoes, especially at the same time as dark green leafy vegetables because of the lutein, orange bell peppers because of the zeaxanthin, and wild Alaskan salmon because of the astaxanthin. So be very careful with that. Also, we didn't realize, but mouthwash probably isn't the best thing to use daily, is it?
Right, because mouthwash sort of acts like an antibiotic in your mouth where it's killing the good and the bad bacteria. So you're trying to kill the bad bacteria for the bad breath and the dental hygiene, but unfortunately you're killing the good too. So we also, just like in your stomach, in your belly there, we want those good probiotics. We also want it in our mouth. So there is studies that show it does affect the way we digest and process our food, because that's the entry position right there. We want to make sure it starts the sequence off right of proper digestion.
And it specifically can kill some of the good bacteria responsible for converting the dietary nitrates that you consume from vegetables to dietary nitrites, which is responsible for vasodilation and the cardioprotective effects of certain foods. So believe it or not, if you use mouthwash, and they did a pretty good study with dental students showing that if you use mouthwash every day, your blood pressure actually went up, increasing your chance of ischemic events. That's oxygen starvation. So I would say, unless you're going on that hot date, and it's a new girl, probably don't use the mouthwash. If you're married, you don't need the mouthwash anymore, do you?
A nice little peppermint, maybe.
There you go. A peppermint that's a good idea. And then also reduce your intake of spinach, believe it or not, beets, and almonds. And people going, no, those are so good for you. Well, let me tell you, all you got to do is have one kidney stone like I had. And you remember back in the day when I talked about that. And I used to juice organic spinach and beets almost every day thinking I'm doing something healthy. I had the worst pain in my life. I got a kidney stone. I went to the emergency room. For me to go to the emergency room, literally, I got to have a bone sticking out of my back or my neck, and I got to be bleeding to death. But I thought there was something serious wrong. I felt like there was somebody stabbing me with an ice pick in my back. And it was just a little tiny kidney stone. Well, it was an oxalate form kidney stone, and it was related to the spinach and the almonds and the beets. So those are very high in oxalates, not the best thing in the world for your kidneys. So you can substitute spinach with baby leaf kale, almonds with macadamia nuts or pistachios. So just stay away from spinach, beets, and almonds. And then we're going to talk a little bit about omega-3. Dr. Summerton, we talk about this with our patients because of the value of omega-3. And recently, there's another study saying omega-3 is also good for macular degeneration.
Right. We use it every single day for dry eye. It's a natural way to lower inflammation, and it's a natural way to increase that oil in your meibomian glands in your eyelids. But the new study, a long-term study, came out that taking it reduces the chance of the macular degeneration by 20 to 30%, which is huge. Again, it's just another little simple thing just to swallow. We do know they're large capsules, which I can mention if you do have a difficult time swallowing these large capsules, it is okay to break it open but make sure you swallow it right away. We don't want it to be exposed to too much heat or light. So as long as you're taking it right away, then that's okay to break it open. Sometimes it just helps to take it with a little shake there. It helps swallow it. So encourage that for everybody, not just our macular degeneration patients, our dry eye patients, but just for overall health.
I see people are getting shy. They don't want to call. So they're texting and messaging me on Instagram and on Facebook. And we're going to go over that in just a second. Don't be shy. Give us a call. This is live. We ran a few tapes over the last, few weeks. So a lot of people think it's probably a tape again, but we are live. It's December 14th, 2024. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Liz asked me, Dr. Lange, I've been taking your Focus for 10 years. And yesterday I got a new bottle of Focus. And it's hard to see that far. And it is a very tiny red capsule. Is this correct? Yes. So the new Focus is a micro capsule because some people couldn't swallow, even though the Focus wasn't that big. Some people couldn't swallow the size of it. So we took some of the olive oil out and we made it even smaller. So if you get Fortifeye Focus, it might be the micro caplets now, or it might be the other one, depending on when we sell through. So yes, the Fortifeye Focus is correct. It's a micro caplet. It's half the size of the Fortifeye Focus. It's great it's easy to swallow. It has the same lutein, zeaxanthin isomers, and astaxanthin in it. So yes, it's the same thing, just a smaller capsule. And the other question, Eric had said, new Vanilla Super Protein is a different color and a different texture. Is it okay? All right. Another good question. Yes. The Fortifeye Super Protein, the Vanilla Super Protein, it's a little bit different because remember, anytime you milk the cows, depending on the season, those are grass-fed cows coming from New Zealand. The color is going to be a little bit different. It's always a little bit yellow. The yellow color means it's grass-fed. If it's white, they either A, bleached it, or it's not grass-fed. So it's got to have a little bit of a yellow hue to it. So that's correct. And also, one of the countries that is very warlike right now is what was where the sunflower lecithin was coming from, and we couldn't get it anymore from that country. So we're getting it from Denmark now. So the sunflower lecithin is a little bit different. All right, we're getting ready to go to the phones. Let's go back to, I think it's Mark in Branford. Mark, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Hey, I just wanted to say, Dr. Lange, at the moment earlier in your show when you were mentioning wild-caught Alaskan salmon, I was actually in my pantry reaching for a can of that. It was like the funniest coincidence. And I'm all like, yep, it's wild-caught.
There you go.
It's chicken of the sea brand, but whatever. It'll do.
That's a good product. It's a power food.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. You guys have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Have a good one. All right. We do have a lot of listeners. And once again, we do want to welcome the shy people over in Dallas, Texas. They're not calling. We got time for one more call. 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Also, check us out at fortifeye.com. Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. And the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins, write this down. I'll give it to you twice. 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. And remember, we've got a vegan super wellness bundle that could be a great gift item for Christmas, couldn't it?
It could. If you have that vegetarian friend, that super bundle would be an awesome. We've got a lot of these holidays coming up where we're looking for gifts, and that would be a wonderful for your vegetarian friend. And we were talking about over break, if you have macular degeneration in your family, or you know a loved one who has macular degeneration, or you're just simply concerned about macular degeneration, what can you give them? Well, like a caller called in about the Focus. That's a nice small little capsule to take. Or we have the Macula Defense. You couple that with the omega-3 fish oil and the curcumin, which is also good for lowering the inflammation, and drusen in the macula. And then throw something in there like a bag of pistachios that have lutein, a can of the wild-caught salmon or sardines that we've been talking about. a bottle or jar of that unrefined coconut oil, and then another superfood, goji berries, that's GOJI, and that's a perfect little holiday gift, and you're giving that gift of health and gift of sight, and it's something they'll really like. And then we all have friends or goals ourselves or people we know that are on GLPs, or people have a goal to lose weight. What would be a great idea? We all know they need protein. So a can of the protein coupled with the superfoods to enhance that, making sure they're getting enough of those vegetables and antioxidants, polyphenols in their diet. And then maybe throw in a water bottle to remind them to drink water, and maybe some socks to remind them to get out there to exercise. And then either like a sleep mask or a pillow to remind them they've got to get good sleep. So just some great ideas if you're struggling to find what you're going to get your loved ones and friends for these upcoming holidays. We want them to enjoy it, and we want them to be healthy, and we want them to use it.
And don't forget the Fortifeye Rejuvenate I'm holding up has gone viral. Remember, this is a marine collagen tripeptide with a lot of other ingredients to support healthy skin, ligaments, tendons, joints, hair, and nails. Fortifeye Rejuvenate. Check it out. We got 21 seconds, Susan. That time went by pretty fast, and we had 2 people on hold we can't get to. They'll have to call next week.
Wishing everyone a wonderful day. I'm going to go out and take a nice long walk on the beach on this gorgeous day. God bless.
Thanks for tuning in to Ask the Doctor. Check us out next week. See ya and have a great day.